Hey everyone, Works here. So apologies for the little bit of scratchiness in my throat. Still struggling with COVID. Tested positive on July 4th, and so this is now July 9th, so I'm kind of at that fifth day. For the most part, I feel fine. I haven't had any issues other than small fever and some body aches the first couple days, but my throat still hasn't fully recovered yet, so I sound a little bit scratchy. This video may be a little bit shorter as a result, but it is Misty Mountains month. This video is releasing on Sunday, July 10th. As promised, I was going to tell you that, we're doing it every Sunday, dedicated to that. So here we are. This is a Johnathan Young cover version of Misty Mountains. Johnathan Young known for his metal covers of songs, so I expect this to be a little bit heavy metal in style. We saw Johnathan Young a couple times already with the Wellerman's Misty Mountains that came out last week, and in Centuries from the Bass Gang, which came out last month. So I have never seen this version before, so this is going to be a first time watch through, and then we'll go back and talk about it like we do. So this is a first time reaction. Turn this lamp on here real quick. There we go. Put a little bit more light on my face. So this is going to be a first time reaction, and then we are going to go back and do what we normally do in these videos and talk about it. So without further ado, we're just going to get right into Misty Mountains from The Hobbit, the Johnathan Young cover version. Dylan Myers in this is too.
Far over the misty mountains cold,
Wasn't expecting.
to dungeons deep in caverns old, we must away ere break of day to claim our long forgotten gold. The pines were roaring on the height, the winds were moaning in the night. The fire was red, it flaming spread, the trees like torches blazed with light. Far over the misty mountains gray, to dungeons deep in caverns deep, we must away ere break of day to win our hearts and go from here.
Huh. Okay.
What's up, Internet? Johnathan Young here. Thank you so much for watching.
So this must have been one of his early videos, I'm guessing. 2014 that he did that. Okay. So this is a very old song. And it shows. I think. Definitely shows. So this is interesting. Let's max this out. I don't know really what to make of it. You can definitely tell it was when he was in his more hustling days, in his youth, so to speak. But the vocals version of it, it is what it is. What I like about his video here is the visuals of it. So let's talk about this video, and we'll talk about some of the things that I really enjoyed about it. The old mid-2000s YouTube intro. Where you talk about where you post comments of people that want to watch what their request is. See this a lot in mid-2000s YouTube. or mid 2010s YouTube rather. So the first thing that you notice is that
far over
I thought it was just smoke, but then as he was singing,
the misty mountains.
I saw that smoke was coming out of his mouth too, and I was like, that doesn't seem like a thing that you can do. I mean, it probably is a thing that you can do, but like, also it's weird seeing Johnathan and not his base Jesus get up with the longer hair and stuff like that. Or even in the pulled back ponytail that he was in with centuries, you could tell us let his hair grow out in this from 8 years ago. So, but then it dawned on me that I was like, oh, maybe he's outside because it's called Misty Mountains Cold, and so he wants to be outside.
Cold to dungeons deep in caverns old.
So one thing I also notice when you compare Johnathan to like Centuries or the couple lines he got in the Wellerman's Misty Mountains, it's just how much maturation he's had in his voice since this. Here you could tell it's a lot of raw potential, but you could tell there's some things that aren't quite developed. Like, sure, going up and going down. I don't know if that was a choice specifically done by him and the arranger, or it wasn't developed at this point, but you know, not as much up and down, not a ton of contrast in this, which is kind of what makes this video, when you compare it to like other Misty Mountains videos, it's just not there yet. But again, this one's 8 years old, so standards and expectations of 2014 were a lot different than they are today.
We must away at break of day to claim our long forgotten gold.
Without looking at the comments, I wonder how many people told him he sang that line technically wrong. It's not to claim our long, it's to find our long. We'll go find out.
The pines were.
So that right there is actually my favorite little part of this whole thing. The pines were whirring. Not just what he's doing in the foreground with the deep, you could tell that sort of deep bass that he's, that kind of rock bass that he's already showing itself off. But in the background, he's also got a few things that are going a little bit higher. Those are all really, really nice, makes for a nice little harmony as you slide up into the music-driven section of the song.
The pines were.
This shot right here with the moon in the background, I don't know if that's real or not. It's at the actual moon or not, but it looks great. This is also one of my favorites. I'm a sucker for this type of stuff though, visually. So, hands out back to the main camera / audience of us, and just the kind of gentle turn around to where you only see a little bit of a small portion of his face. I'm just a sucker for that.
In the night, the fire was red, it flaming spread.
Again, I like the performance that he's putting on here, like from a body language, his face, like to me this is the most interesting part of the video, is just watching him perform, and you're seeing kind of the, you know, the progenitor, I guess, the early signs of what kind of helped him blow up even more later on, especially when he started getting into his metal covers and stuff. Just visually draws you in. And I think that's something that is good about this video. That's kind of standard as it really is. And I say standard not to put it down. It's just, it was a mid-2010s song cover. Like, it's just what they were back then.
The trees like torches blazed with love. far over the misty mountains.
So I like in the background here, real high up in the background, when he says far over. I'm not gonna try to do it, but it goes up 1 or 2 octaves. It just sounds really, really cool. And again, a little bit of depth being added here to the song itself. Let me go back a little bit more. Would have liked to seen it sustained a little bit more. Far over. He basically staccatos it out, and so it adds like good depth while it was there. I would have liked to see a little bit of contrast from the fact that he could have gone far over and then held out the herb sound for even just like one beat longer, and I think it would have added a nice little bit of contrast to the song. So really like the violinist. Did I miss who it was? It probably was said at the end, but we'll look again here in a minute.
In caverns deep, we must away. It break of day, true in our hearts, and go from
Really like the ending shot with him going to his knees at the end of the song. So let's see. By Emmeline, not Jeremy Irons. Okay, I get that humor. Let's go into the comments real quick and see. Male siren. Yeah. Grew a beard listening to this, and so did my cat. So a lot of people love this, and there's a lot that I really like about it too. Obviously shows off Jonathan's bass in a way that the other songs that have featured him haven't really done so, because he's of course solo singer in this. In the other 2 songs he was collaborating with a larger group of people. Obviously taking into consideration that it was 8 years ago, December of 2014 when this was released initially. Like I said, I think it shows a lot of the potential that he's really found over the years, and is blown himself up into being the legit YouTube bass singing metal cover legend, where he's working with a whole slate of really fun people. Caleb Hines, and I know Colin McGinnis has been on a lot of his songs with him and stuff. So when you consider the fact that it's like, when you look at it through a 2022 lens, and kind of like what we're seeing a cappella and bass singers being able to do with just a better understanding of technology, better understanding of audio and production and all that stuff, like, okay, yeah, this video doesn't hold up against like even the Wellerman video. But when you look at the lens of, it was the mid 2010s, which, I only started creating videos in 2018, but I have been around on YouTube since 2009, something like that. I've been around a long time on YouTube, because I'm old, probably older than some people watching this video. Because of that, like, you have to kind of look at it from the lens of being able to remember like that period of time on YouTube. Like, this video is very standard for mid 2010s YouTube, which at the time people thought was like the most amazing thing, for people that weren't Hollywood studio, TV studio productions and editors and stuff like that. Like, if you're working with like a small team, let's see. Of course, he's pumping his stuff there, which you always did as well. When the outro is as long as the song, that was also a sign that this was a mid 2010s YouTube video. But when you look at it from the lens of what was going on at that time, I mean, there's a reason this thing has 2 million views. Like back then, and you could see like, comments from even 5, 6 years ago, almost 3 years after it released, people are like, "Oh my God, this is amazing." Um, and in a lot of ways, I'm sure if I'd watched this video 6 or 7 years ago when it released, I would have thought like, "Oh my God, this dude's ridiculous." Um, but having the benefit of hindsight and knowing what Jonathan is capable of doing now, like you look back on this, and for me, it's not a breathtaking video. It's not, the most visually stunning. It's not even the most vocally stunning. And I think he would tell you that. It was made in 2014. But what it does show is a ton of the potential that, like I said earlier, he's come out to fulfill. So this is a really interesting trip down memory lane, I guess, in some ways, from a perspective of, I'm messing with my screen. Thank you. Sorry about that. No. All right, hang on. Gotta fix that. I'm not cutting this out because it just shows the hilarity. Lock. Thank you. All right. Let me grab my Excel sheet real quick. What am I doing next week? Peter Hollins and Tim Faust. I'll be recording that probably later into the week next week. So Peter Hollins and Tim Faust. This is one that was strongly recommended to me by many of you in my comment section. So I've never seen this one. I've heard maybe one note of it, and it's from Peter Hollins. And it's nothing special. It's a pretty standard note. So I saw some people reacting to some of the stuff, and I've made a point to avoid it. So Peter Hollins and Tim Faust's version that we'll be doing next week, that'll be another first-time reaction. So I'm looking forward to doing that one, because I've never seen that video before, as much as I've been tempted to. So until the next video, all, I hope you're all staying safe. I hope you're all enjoying your music, you're having fun. See you all in the next video.